Hi everybody, it's Dr. Lori of Sextacular You, and it is Friday, Flirty Friday, in a beautiful, beautiful day in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I'm kind of post my podcast on keep your penis healthy, hard, and happy. And if you didn't hear it yesterday live, you're in luck because you can go to iTunes and you can download it, you can listen to it, and I'm really encouraging you to do that. We had so much fun. My beautiful bombshell sexy co-host, Miss Wendy West, all we could talk about was how to keep your penis healthy, hard, and happy. And if you haven't heard her say that, I promise you, you're gonna want to. And look, even if you're a woman, you're gonna wanna listen because we had super fun yesterday. There are so many great things that I want to share with you on how to keep your health when it comes to your penis and your reproduction organs, and June is Men's Health Month, and there was so much, I'm going to have to do 2 episodes. So in this first episode, you're going to get a good overview of what some of your risk factors are as a man. And that includes the different types of cancers, whether it's penile cancer, testicular cancer, or prostate cancer. We definitely want to keep you healthy, and we want to keep your tool working because I personally happen to like that tool. So, and look, if you don't know who I am, by the way, you should go to my new website. It's awesome. It's Dr. Lori Ebert. It's DRLORI Ebert.com. Go there and you can see all my programs and see everything I'm up to. But hopefully you know me by now, and if not, you definitely want to get to know me because I am America's girl next door, and I'm here to share with you what it means to have sextacular health, intimacy, sexiness, and ecstasy in the bedroom. And that's what Sextacular is about. And I am on a mission to cause world peace, one orgasm at a time. And the way I do that is I coach people, I offer programs, I have a podcast, I speak, and I just did a TEDx talk on how to cause world peace with orgasms. So there's a lot behind all this, and I'm really committed to educating you, especially when it comes to men, because male psychology and male sexuality is my specialty. People always ask me why, which I'll just tell you. One, even though I'm very girly, and I'm very girly, which by the way is the first time in 5 days I've washed my hair, I'm actually very masculine. I think like a man, I'm very in charge like a man, and I've had to learn to embrace my femininity. And men are just really easy when it comes to sex. I mean, it's really pretty simple for guys anyway. Food, sleep, sex, and other. And their lives are pretty happy. So I just aligned with men and I studied them, and it was very easy. And I also find, we know as a health educator, and that's what my doctorate's in, we know that men die sooner, they don't live as long as women, they don't go to the doctors that often, and you guys don't take care of your health the way that you need to. And I personally would like to have a lot of healthy, virile, hard, happy men around in the world, because then you can keep me happy. So that's why I'm committed to doing this. So this month I'm going to be talking about how to keep your penis healthy, hard, and happy, and give you lots of tips. So yesterday I shared about the different types of cancer. I also shared how important it is to get erect every day and masturbate every day. So I want to share with you a few things in this video that I didn't share online yesterday and give you an overview at the end. I want to share some things about masturbation because while I do recommend it every day, there are some things you need to know. But first I have to tell you this really super funny story. So when you do this for a living, it's always a surprise. So, you know, I'm accustomed now to going to the bookstores and buying racy books, and people just look at me and I'm like, I do this for a living. And they're like, oh, okay. And like when the maintenance men come to my house, I always have to check because I could have boxes of toys sitting around, lubricants. One time I have this gallon of lubricant that somebody gave me, and I kind of have to put that stuff in place, or I at least need to tell people, hey, I'm a sex educator, this is what I do in the world. Same when I take my computer in, by the way. It's really pretty funny. I'm like, okay, I do this for a living, so don't be scared of what you find on my computer. But yesterday, I was on the way to the radio show, and my show is broadcast live every Thursday from 3 to 4 on Dave Pratt's Star Worldwide Network. So you can go to starworldwide.com every week from 3 to 4 on Thursdays, Pacific Standard Time, and you can listen to the show live. So I'm going up in the elevator, and there's 2 guys in the elevator with me, and I'm digging something out of my purse, and this little square round packet drops on the floor of the elevator. And I just went, and I looked, because I have a lot of different things in my purse. I just met the owner of Silk, which is a lubricant I'm going to be talking to you about. Notice it's purple and blue. I do have condoms that are really colorful. And I dropped this on the ground at the elevator, and the guys looked, and I just went, and I looked down, and I'm like, because it looks like a condom, but thank God it was just a tea bag. So anyway, those are the moments as a sex educator that people don't know about, and people that are around me just know you never know what to expect. So anyway, I thought you would enjoy that. All right, so yes, you guys can quote me. When it comes to penis health, yes, it's important to maintain the shape, the health, and clean your pipes out every day with masturbation. One, we already know it helps you when it comes to prostate cancer, and it's like, there's a lot of men that get prostate cancer. It's 1 out of 7 men, so you want to keep your pipes clean. Now, here's the thing, guys. I talked about this yesterday. That 2-minute masturbation and that 2-minute orgasm, that's not going to do it. So a couple times a week, you want to really go to the gym with your penis. And I talked about yesterday on the show a process called edging. And so you need to go back to the podcast and listen to this. And you need to take about 30, 45 minutes and edge yourself out. And edge yourself out, not once, but twice, but 3 times. And you're going to increase the blood flow to your penis. You're going to increase your endurance. You're going to increase the intensity of your orgasm. And as a woman, or even as another man, if you're with a male partner, I can promise you, you absolutely want that intensity to your orgasm. And there's nothing better than coming to the edge. And I know as a woman, because I've had the pleasure of being edged a lot the last few months, and there is no better space to be in. So you're gonna have to go back to the podcast to listen to that, because I don't have time to share it with you today. But here are the things I do want to share with you with masturbation. So there's a couple reasons you really want to do this regularly. One is the science has already shown us that, especially if you're trying to reproduce and have children. So what happens is when you produce regular sperm, there's a less chance that some of those sperm will flow back. So in studies where they've measured this, if you are not masturbating for a really long time in between, then those sperm just aren't as healthy and viral, and they tend to not make it to the egg or go further. They're kind of just limp and lethargic, and they're just not as happy campers and the warriors that you want. So masturbating on a regular basis really gives you those warrior kind of sperm, and they're more viral, and they will make it to the egg. And so if you want to reproduce, that's a good thing. The other reason you want to masturbate on a regular reason is it produces all those endorphins. You get a lot of dopamine from it. You get a lot of oxytocin. It's really good for your body in all those ways. And so it beefs your sperm up. You have better fighters, better options for reproduction. It also helps keep your testosterone levels up, makes you feel sexier, it makes you feel happier, and all of that stuff. So it's really, really good. Now, one thing you do want to keep in mind, 2 things about this. You can masturbate too much and be an excessive masturbator. And the other thing is, masturbating and orgasm and sexual intimacy are not the same thing. So while I definitely encourage you to keep the pipes clean and keep it going, you're not going to get the same, science has shown us, you're not going to get the same benefits as when you have an orgasm having intercourse and intimacy with another human being. You're going to get better benefits for blood pressure, your heart, your prostate, and all of that. So you want to have a little bit of everything. That's what I want you to know. Now, what is excessive masturbation? Okay. All right. I get asked this question by men a lot, and I'm just here to tell you, ladies, if you are freaked out that a man is masturbating and you're in a relationship with him still, you need to just really get over that. They are going to touch themselves, they are going to masturbate, and you want them to. It's going to keep them healthier. What you don't want is for it to replace your intimacy, and you don't want it to be interfering with your life. So what's too much? Well, I can't really give you a number. I've had guys tell me that on a day they were just feeling hot and horny, they've masturbated 10 times in one day. Now, do they do that every day? No. Again, 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, you know. There are circumstances where that may happen more often than not. So here's what I would say when it comes to excessive masturbation. If it is interfering with your life, like any substance, gambling, drinking, video games, smoking marijuana, any of that stuff, then it's going to be a problem. So excessive masturbation is considered when it interferes with your job, your relationship, it becomes an argument in your conversations, it stops you from going to work, it stops you from having friends or going out. And I am going to do a show on porn, because what I'm finding is there is such excessive porn watching in men, and it is really changing their sexual response. And while I think there's a place for all types of variety in this field, I do find as I delve more into sacred and spiritual sexuality, there is an energy and a vibration behind a lot of the porn that doesn't serve us well. And I think men that watch that, or women that watch that excessively, it does impact you in a way that I don't think people are looking for sexually. But that's another conversation in another podcast that you're going to go to. And I have talked about porn addiction in the past. So you can go back, you can find my stuff on iTunes. You just go to iTunes and you look up the Sextacular You podcast. And I think it was about this time last year in June, I did a talk on porn addiction and had a guest. And I'll talk more this year on it as well. Here's the other reason you don't want to masturbate excessively, because even though it's good to masturbate on a regular basis, excuse me, keep your penis shaped, keep the pipes clean, keep your happiness going, excuse me. What you don't want to do is throw off your hormonal balance. And we do know that when men masturbate too much, you can have effects. It can cause more fatigue. What it does is it throws off your parasympathetic system and the acetylcholine in your body, and then you produce too many sex hormones or too much testosterone. And when that happens, other things get thrown off. So you can have fatigue, you can have hair loss. And no, that does not mean if a man is bald, he has excessive masturbation. So, but if you're starting to notice this, memory loss, blurred vision, you can even have groin or testicular pain. The other thing that's that's associated with this as a problem is what we call seminal leakage. And what that means is semen leaks from the tip of your penis when you don't have an erection. And what that's indicating is that what's happening is it's numbing the neural response, the nerve response for that ejaculation valve. So the ejaculation valve is losing its nerve impulses and messaging, and it's not holding the ejaculation in, and you're getting leakage. So if that's something that you're noticing and you know you're masturbating excessively and you've worried it's a problem, or other people have talked to you, you may want to take a look at that. And, you know, what do? You can go to a Sex Anonymous group. You can call me. I mean, this is what I do for a living. I'm a coach. I work with men and women. It's all educational. It's no hands-on. And we look at the programming. I use neuroscience. I use behavior change. I use mindfulness practices, all the things you need to actually modify your behaviors, deconstruct imprints and programming that you have, and actually shift how you are and get really present. Because I promise you, when you get present to sexuality and you get present to really being connected not only to yourself and your body, but to a partner, there is the most beautiful, expansive space of ecstatic joy that everybody wants. I know, I've had it. And if you haven't heard me talk about orgasmic meditation, you have to go to some of my shows in April and May, and you can hear me talk about it. And if you're not in a position where you're masturbating, which this includes women too, and you don't have a partner, or you're not having sex, you definitely want to call me as your coach. But listen to my TED Talk. I'm going to be posting the links for that in the next few days. And you can learn what does it take to cause orgasmic bliss in your life. So there's a lot of ways to create that orgasmic bliss in your life, even if it's not coming from an exact orgasm. All right, so I've got to wrap up because I have to go. I have a client today, and I've got tons of fun things happening. So next week, I'm going to be talking about orgasmic meditation on the podcast, but the week after that, I'm going to be doing part 2 on keep your penis healthy, hard, and happy. And Wendy and I are going to have a blast. I've got tons of things to share with you. I'm going to talk about delayed ejaculation. Are you a grower, a shower, belly size and boners, exercise. I know, sometimes I really can't believe that this is what I do for a living, and that I'm talking about belly size and boners, because I promise you, I did not grow up to do this for a living. But I love it. And I'm committed to keeping people healthy, whatever that takes, because I want the world to be a happy place with peace. And so any trouble you might be having with your penis, even if it's dry, I'm going to have some tips for you on what and how to moisturize that. Massage, hygiene, and most importantly, I'm going to take your penis to the gym. And I'm going to give you some tips for keeping your penis in shape, literally, like physically exercising your penis, because we forget about it. You forget about it. And I know you touch it, some men hold it, for some men it's a pacifier. It's very common, but are you exercising it? Because the old saying is true. If you don't use it, you will lose it. And I personally don't want to see that happen. I want everybody having great sex, because then I wouldn't have to work and I could be having great sex myself all the time. All right, so that's it. Please go to my website. It's drloriebert.com or sextacularu.com. Either place will get you there. Check out all my programs and all of this, and make sure you go listen to podcast. It's podcast number 103. Go to iTunes or go to starworldwide.com. I'll post the links below. And if you have any questions or anything you want me to cover on the next podcast, post the questions below. And if you're not in my Facebook group, or you haven't found me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Pinterest, you need to go find me, all right? And you can always email me, Dr. Lori at sextacularu.com, Dr. Lori at sextacularu.com. So it's Friday. I suggest you go get a little lubrication and have a little fun with a penis. And if you can't do that, minimally flirt, cause some fun energy in your body, and have a fantastically sexy Friday. Mwah!